Welcome back. I am here once again with Mr. Michael Mead, who is going to continue his analysis of the US National Professional Smooth Championships that were held in Orlando, Florida. We found out that Max and Tatiana were second, so that can only mean one thing. Nick and Viktorija retained their title. They had a final analysis of 1-2-1-1. Now, once again, you spectated at this event. What do you think about what was their performance like?
Well, I think that actually they started kind of rocky at the beginning and then managed to, each successive round, they managed to improve it and managed to do that to the extent that they were back up to their usual level of performance by the final. If they hadn't managed to do that, I think they would have lost it to Max and Tatiana, who were dancing beautifully. So Nick and Viktorija, their strengths are their beautiful soft movement, great interpretation of the music. Anytime it's so that plays beautifully into waltz and Viennese Waltz specifically. The best closed position on the floor, which is it's interesting because on the one hand, you as a couple competing against them, you don't want to show off weaknesses. Mm-hmm. So it's tough because closed position is part of dancing, and to exclude all closed positions so you didn't have a comparison between yourself and Nick and Viktorija would be kind of weird. But it's a tough one because if you are going to do that, then you have to be competitive with it. That's a tricky thing to do. Viktorija was much better as far as the engaging with the judges and the audience visually with focus towards the end. Specifically in the foxtrot, I think she did a really good job. She can get a little insular and a little internal sometimes, which doesn't it kind of lends itself to and doesn't matter so much in the Viennese or the waltz if it's kind of a sad or a romantic Viennese and waltz. But that's where she has to work hard to try and build it up to Tatiana's level of engagement. Nick was great. He's kind of he has his own funky thing going on there, and he seems unflappable and great movement, and did a great job all the way through, I thought.
It's funny you mention their closed hold. The Viennese Waltz dance on, they just did a very basic, I think it was a left turn to start. What do you think about that?
Well, I think it's smart, isn't it? I mean, you want to demonstrate the idea of a competition is you show what you're good at. Hopefully you're good at enough things so there's some dynamic contrast, you're not one-dimensional. So actually at the end of that closed section, they split into some shadow positions and pivots and stuff like that, with a couple of shapes in there as well. So it showed that they were capable of doing that as well. But I mean, that's definitely something at the moment that they do better than any of the other couples. So it makes sense to show that off.
I know that Nick watches some of these episodes because we did discuss him doing a sugar push at the beginning of his foxtrot. He did mention to me that he's still doing it at Embassy, but he's done a slightly different version of it. Did you like his sugar push last night?
You know what, I see whatever movement that the couples, because smooth, one of the core advantages that smooth has over other styles is we borrow from any and all other styles of dancing, right? So whatever is effective with the music that's playing is appropriate. So whether you can identify it as a specific move from another dance or not, as long as it's appropriate to the music that's being played and it interprets it well and it looks good, I'm fine with whatever you decide to do.
Well, I loved the new version. I like the old version as well, but the new version was a bit funkier. I just have to say congratulations, guys. to be at the top. Everybody's gunning for you, and you're knocking them back at the moment. Also, I'd like to say this couple are so professional in the way that they deal with business. So
Something happened with her hand, right?
Oh, the broken finger.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think Viktorija had a broken finger, and you would never have.
She got it taped up just before the Viennese, I believe. Yeah.
Incredible. But young couples should look at this couple and try to emulate them on and off the dance floor.
Yeah, because I think there is, when you're in a position where you are actually at the top, you're right. You've got a target on your back. There's always a niggling sense of fear that you're going to lose it, right? Which can be debilitating if you allow it to gain too much volume in your head, and that's a tough place to be. So sometimes it's a happier place to be when you're stalking the ones at the top and want to knock them over the head. You've got a goal there. You have less to lose and more to gain. So it is tough at the top. It wears on you after a while.
Well, it's wearing on these guys really, really well. So congratulations, guys. World champions, Blackpool champions, US national champions. Yeah, great job. Well done. So, Michael, I just want to thank you so much for taking the time to come and, speak to me. Cheers. We did have a little discussion that I would love to have you and the missus do one of these, just to see, if you actually agree on everything. As I said before, Michael does run a rather fun event in San Diego.
Very fun, yeah. Beach Bash, April.
So, if you need a bit of sunshine in April, go see Michael and his missus and somebody called Jonathan Roberts as well.
He hangs out there as well.
So I've heard. In fact, wouldn't it be great to have Mr. Roberts, the three of you, the three amigos, actually do approach the bar for one of the big pro smooth comps?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, I could school them both.
Anyhow, okay, so guys, you know by now that if you want to find out anything about the dance world, log on to www.dancebeat.com. If you want to see any of the videos that are playing during our interview, log on to www.dancesport.supershag.com. Once again, Michael, cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was fun.
And we'll see you all soon. Have a good one. Bye-bye.